Hey, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, just like this. All right. So this video is gonna be about, well, this is the final video about this statue base that I made, custom base. So I'll go over how I painted it, a couple of things I did to it. Let's see here. So the details, different techniques I used to paint it and make it. So if you haven't seen the other videos, please go ahead and watch them. I know they're a little bit long, but I try to keep them as short as I could. Uh, by the way, the Carnage statue is also custom painted. I don't know if you can notice if you've seen those before. And there's a separate video about it. But on this one, it came out better than I expected. So I had a lot of fun doing this. And it came out, like I said, better than I thought it was going to be. So just watch it and let me know what you think. Thank you. All right. So already start painting. Uh, well, what's I hope is going to be the final color. I mean, still going to do some highlights and stuff, but I'm just going to show you quickly how I painted. Um, well, I decided on the color. Just a mix of black and brown and a little bit of white. And there's nothing really special. Just go. And that's the reason I do the black base coat, is that you want the in between to be darker. Uh, I'm just trying to get like as much as you can, but you don't have to get like every little spot there. You want some parts to stay black, because that's going to give you a little bit of contrast later on. Because if you paint everything the same color, you can't really see the texture very well. And you want it to be highlighted. So you just go like that. And I'll do a separate video later just on making the rocks and painting it. Right now it's just about building this whole thing. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it. And what you can do also, let me do a couple one more, we'll finish this row here. It gets a little bit messy, so that's part of painting. I mean, you don't have to get every single part of it, but you want to get most of it. And I'm doing sections. You put in one side, wait for it to dry, then go to the next side, and so okay. And it goes pretty quick, as you can see. And that's why you want to do a couple coats of primer in the base coat black, a couple coats of the black paint as well, because it actually goes a lot faster once you have a good solid base. And you get like different angles. It doesn't actually used to be perfect. I just want to get most of it. And keep going. And since it's a custom mix color, you don't want to stop. I mix it myself. So it's just easier to just go mix it, get to the color that you want, and just paint the whole thing. Some are harder than others to paint, but again, as long as you get most of it. A little bit of the in between, so it's not all black. And the top. So put a little bit more glue there. Okay. And then quickly, you get the idea. And once you finish this part, or once I finish this part, I'm gonna like blend a couple other colors just to make it a little bit more realistic. I still want the rocks to be, you know, the stone blocks to be like this color. But what I do, I get a lighter color and do some quick blending. I'll pause here for a second. Okay, so that's my different mixes. And what I do now, when it's still wet, with a little bit of lighter color, I do some of, I don't know if you'll be able to see on the video, but I do a little bit blending with a lighter color. And again, when it's still wet, because you're not doing the highlights yet, you're just blending a little bit. It may not be very noticeable right now, but once it dries, you'll be able to tell the difference. Because again, not all, you know, stone blocks are the same color or the same color all over. So within the color itself, within the stone, you blend it a little bit. And the reason you do it when it's still wet, so it kind of blends. It doesn't. You're not making a full clear line. It just blends better when it's wet. Again, I'm no artist, but if it worked for me, I'll do it again. And if it looks good, I'll keep doing it. So, okay, maybe you can see. Yeah, you can see on the video a little bit. Just blend the colors a little bit. You can see on that side they're already painted. Okay, I'm gonna continue painting, and we'll see. Okay, so now the paint is dry. I think you can see some of the blending, how the lower part is a little bit lighter. And here's I kept it darker, some of the highlights. Can't really see it, but up close you can see it. But that was just the first step. Well, if you wanted like a basic wall, I guess you could stop here. But I'm trying to make it a little bit more detailed. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just do a different tone, a different color, and paint some rocks, some stone blocks, a different color, so it's not all like a one thing, like all uniform. I think it will look better that way. But again, like everything I'm doing here, we're just gonna try and see it. But it's starting to look good. Even like this, I'll be fine with this, but I'll try to make it look a little bit dirtier and more realistic. We'll see. Okay, so I decided to go with three different colors, shades. The darkest one, the medium, and the lightest one. I'll just alternate them. I think that will give you a more realistic look. Like here, you can't even tell much, but when you get close, you can tell the difference. So it just looks more real than instead of everything same color. Start with the highlights, and I use this just to have different shades ready to go, because it doesn't take much for each block. And I alternate them. As far as the brush, nothing really special. This is actually a 98 cents cheap brush, and I just cut a little bit so I can get a little bit more precision. And after I'm done, I'm probably just gonna throw it away. I don't really need anything nicer. I mean, I have a couple nicer brushes, but for the stones, this is fine. So okay, I'll continue. I think I'm gonna do this a lighter color, and this is a lighter color, and see how that contrasts, and we'll see. Okay, I'll show you how I've been painting this, because I don't think I showed you how I painted the second coat. So I have the darker color under it. Before that I had the black base coat, and you just go with the lighter color. It's not like you're doing the highlights. The highlights is much lighter. This one you go a little bit deeper, but you don't have to get every single area of it. You get most of it, and then you just move on. Again, and that's why this cheap brush works fine. And again, you get most of it, and that's the point. Some areas you're not gonna get to, and that's fine. You want that. have to push it a little bit. Oh. Yeah. Like I said, I get most of it. And you're done. Let it dry. Once it dries, it's gonna be actually a little bit darker. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Go to next step. Okay, so well, it's looking better now. So the biggest change was the stones. I have the flash on, so it shows the difference of the colors I use, different shades in different colors for the stone blocks. If I turn off the flash, which you will see later, it's not as noticeable, but I want it to be noticeable so you can see as you do it. You alternate the colors a little bit, and then this time I use 3 main colors, and same thing for the rest of the base. One thing that I want to mention that I just did is this here. If you've been watching this, I showed some pencils I had here on the side. And before, I didn't have that idea, so I was just gonna leave it open. But I was like, well, if I add some more details, you just add to the whole, concept. So I cut the pencils, and I'm gonna go really close here so you can see. Again, the colors don't show well with the flash on, but I glue the pencils there. This is just a plastic piece I glue together and put the pencils there. And when I paint it with the silver color first, and then I put some blacks with the spray, and then I mix a little bit of the sand, I don't know if you can see, with some brown paint, and put it around, so it gives it more of a effect of rust and dirt around those bars. And I scratch the pencil too. I don't know if you can see like the side of the pencils, so it looks more realistic. I did it on this side too. And that's the reason I paint this. I chose this to be the lighter color stone, because I wanted to have that contrast. And it worked out good. I'll put it here so you can see it. Ah, it fell. I haven't glued it together yet. I was just showing, going there. Okay, it's in there. So yeah, I think it adds to it. I think it looks better. Let me step back. Again, it's not very noticeable, but when you get close, sometimes the little details make it like look cooler. Okay, I guess next step now is just do the highlights, which I don't know how heavy I'm gonna. Oh, this piece goes here. I don't know how heavy I want to go with the highlights. I already did some highlights around here. We'll see. I'll try a couple different things. Okay. Let's continue this. Okay, I'm almost done with this. I did some highlights as I was painting this. I also did some of the blending. And I also did, like I explained before, the stone blocks, different colors. It's not really that noticeable, but you can notice as you get closer and pay attention to them. Even the blending, one side is lighter than the other, just adds to the realism of the whole thing. But again, like in the beginning, when I showed the whole wall one color gray, even that, once you use the blocks, still looks good. I just decided to paint the, each block a different color kind of to make it more realistic. And the highlighting, you barely can see it because it's a tunnel. There's not going to be that much light in there. So I think that's just enough of the highlights. So I'm not really going to do any more than that. For now, I may change my mind later, but I don't want to overdo it just for, doing things just for the sake of doing things. But here, I think I showed this before, the rusted thing I built here. I was just gonna do some, I don't know, some effects here to make it look dirtier. And like there's water running through that. And the way I do that, I just found the color that I wanted and put a lot of water on it to make it like a color wash. So it's very, and I'll just spread it over. It's gonna get messy, but just to make it look like, there's like sewer or rust and some dirt running through that. Again, it's not going to be that noticeable, but it will be just enough. And that's why I put this under, because it does get messy when the water runs through it. And just do it like that. Again, you don't want to overdo it. Some of it is going to just keep flowing. Okay, now I'll do the other one. Over here, same thing, and let it run. Okay, shake it a little and I'll let it dry. If it's not that noticeable, that's fine. It's not supposed to be too noticeable. But if I need to add a little bit more, just do it again on a darker tone, a different, darker shade of brown or black. Okay. And, forgot to show it. I also put a magnet here. So this wall goes in there. Oh, this one you can see the color variation very well. Again, it's just a little bit of detail that makes all the difference. Okay, let it dry now. All right, so I'm finally done with it. The final bottom piece here that I was working on came out okay. I ended up doing some green, some brown there. So it looks kind of, there's some dirty stuff running through that. Same thing there. Not too noticeable. That's the whole point of it. Make it so you can see it, but it's not really in your face. It came out good. The rusted, broken pieces there. I may end up putting some LED lights inside. Maybe some. I'll see. But yeah, it came out good. I like the how dark it is. I had to make that decision right in the beginning, how dark I was gonna go, and I think it came out good because the coat in him really has a nice contrast there. But yeah, if any questions, just write below. Sorry that this part of the video about the painting ended up being so long, but it's one of those more elaborate and difficult parts of the whole thing. End up, I don't know, I think it was like 5 coats of paint. Was the red base coat, and then the black, and then 3 more other coats depending on the shade, and to get everything. But it came out good. I like the fact that it turns easily. Yeah, and what I'm gonna do a separate video now after this one, just for the reveal on in better lighting, not here in the garage. But on the back, I left it open. I may just do a solid piece here later if I decide I need to. But the reason I left it open, so I cut a hole there. If I decide to install the LED lights later on, it's just easier. I run to the back. And it turns very easily. And came out good. So yeah, like I was saying, I'm gonna do a separate video just on the statue now. That's final, and with better lighting, so we can see it better. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, or if you're just watching this video first, just go back and watch the whole thing if you want to see how it was done. Actually, I'm very excited about going back and watching the whole thing now myself. So it should be really cool. Yeah. Okay, and you haven't subscribed, just subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. I don't post that many videos, so if you don't, you're probably not going to find me again. Okay, thank you.